I did actually wind up finishing all of my bookmas videos, which is super exciting. I'm going to start a new reading vlog for the weekend. I do have to do a little bit of bullet journaling and like planning, like for stuff, just a couple of stuff with my planners and stuff like that. I had a little bit of a weird week. It was the first week back from a vacation, and it just was weird. It's just a weird time to be a teacher, I'll be honest. There's like every day is just a different story, and it's just a little bit complicated. But in the middle of the week, was doing like a little bit of like a 5-star reading vlog, and I did pick up We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi, and I'm really liking this book so far. Um, I just started Frankie's chapter in this, so if you don't know anything about this book, it's so well received. But you basically follow 14 characters who grew up together in Japtown, San Francisco. 14 who formed a community and a family as interconnected as they are conflicted. 14 teens whose lives were turned upside down. Over 10,000 people were forced to desolate incarceration camps in a world that seems determined to hate them. These young Neasley must rally together as racism and justice threaten to pull them apart. So I'm about 100 pages into this one and really liking it. We'll be honest, when I do my like 5-star reading prediction wrap ups, I'll be honest, I wasn't as successful as I had hoped. A lot of them were okay. Some of them were 5-star. This one was probably right now is really, really good. My goal is to finish this and to make some significant progress on Skyward, because this is the last book in that like reading section that I'm going to count and like wrap up. So my goal for this weekend is to finish these two. I think it's definitely doable, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go do my bullet journaling and my journaling and stuff like that, and just sort of get everything all organized, because I literally haven't been able to sit down since I got home really, really rushed. So when I'm done, I'm also listening to Splendid by Julia Quinn. I've been listening to it pretty much for 2 days, so I have about 3 hours left. I don't think I'm going to finish it today, but I can make some progress. So my goal is to do some bullet journaling, make some progress on reading, check in with you guys, and then start reading We Are Not Free, and maybe start Skyward. That's my goal for this weekend, so I can finally move on to the books on my TBR, which I really have not been reading. So talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Back down. I was going to get some lunch, but I can't right now, so... But I am going to pick up We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi. I read about 100 pages yesterday. I really am liking it so far. We're about to get Frankie's point of view. One thing I really do like about this book is it's very, very, very much a sequential story. So everyone has like a chapter, and it sort of tells one story, but you get everyone's point of view, which I really am liking like quite a bit. It's really, really fun. I think I'm liking all the characters. I think it's a very different look at these internment camps and what their lives actually were like. And I'm just very surprised by it. I will say that, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read another, maybe like 2 chapters, and then I'll give you guys an update, and we'll see what time it is. And hopefully at that point I will have lunch as well. So I really am liking Splendid by Julia Quinn. I really like the main character in that story quite a bit, and I like her family a lot. She's basically an American heiress, and she's sent to go live with her family in London, and she winds up saving a young boy, and she winds up developing a relationship with his uncle. And it's very, very cute. Like, I like her a lot. Again, Alex is not my perfect hero, but I do like him, and I like all the side characters, and I'm really curious like who book 2 and book 3 is gonna follow. I hope it follows her cousin, because I like her quite a bit as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go read We Are Not Free, and then I will give you guys an update when I read a couple of chapters. Bye, friends. Here I am back. It is about 1 o'clock. I did wind up reading to page 160 in We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi. This book is definitely getting to an intense spot, and I think it's very gut-wrenching, like just very, very sad to see what these characters are dealing with, and how much racism and like exclusionary practices are really put on top of them. When you look at the story from almost like a one way, it's a very different, like it's very different from what I was expecting. But as the story gets more intense, like as they're being denied like super simple things like going to college and living on their own and having to prove that they are American, I think it's just so sad, and it really makes me angry and really makes me upset. And there's even more division amongst the kids in the group, and I think that's even more heartbreaking to me because like the American government is sort of pitting them against each other, and I think that's really, really sad. There also is just like a lot of unnecessary, like not unnecessary, but there's just a lot of sad situations happening in a lot of the point of views, and it's a very, like, I don't want to put it down, like I really don't. I want to just keep reading, and I'm really captivated by all the characters, and I was a little bit worried going in that like since you only have like 20 to 30 pages with them and then you sort of go to the next character, but you do see them all. Well, you see most of them again. Some of their stories lead them in different locations, and some of them leave the settlement, and some of them like go to a war, which I think is a very interesting conversation, that you're like basically telling these Japanese people, these Japanese American people, that you don't trust them to do anything. You don't trust them to live on their own. You think that they're spies. You think, yada, 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 that they're all these horrible things. And then you almost have the nerve to ask them to fight for a country that doesn't even want them. That is heartbreaking for me. And I'm just like very like angry. Like this book is making me super angry, but I think Tracy Chi is really crafting 14 very unique voices and 14 very different experiences, and I'm really liking that. Um, but yeah, so definitely worth it. I'm really liking it. It's probably going to be a 5-star read for me for sure, because I'm loving it. I really am liking it. I don't know if after this I am going to actually pick up Skyward. We'll see how I'm feeling, but that was the plan. So I'm going to go read a little bit more of this, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. So I just want to do a quick update. It's about 2:44. I think I'm gonna ride my exercise bike in the house and sort of grab my audiobook. But I did wind up getting up to page 226, and We Are Not Free. This book is just getting more heartbreaking as the story goes on. I mean, it's very much like a lawless society. Like the rules keep changing for these poor characters, and it's just heartbreaking. Like I feel for every single person in the story. Like every single character is dealing with something that they never should have to, and I think it's the pure racism in the story and the racism elements in the story is really, really sad. But also just looking at how these characters are treated in these internment camps is like devastating. Like, the simple fact that they're in a situation like this. There was a scene where like there's like a gate around it, but they could see normal people living their lives, and then people have gotten out of these camps by saying that they are not loyal to the Japanese country, and it's just horrible. And like just seeing the people being put in situations and being brutalized is really, really heartbreaking. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and try to listen to my audiobook, because again, I hate being behind on my Goodreads goal, and I don't want to be behind on my Goodreads goal, but it might happen. So I'm going to go read for a little bit, read for like 30 minutes, and then I'll come back and let you guys give you guys an update about my book. But so far I'm really liking this. It's just very, very sad. I think at the end it's going to cause some emotions, but that's okay. So I will give you an update when I read about maybe like to 250 in this, and we'll have a little bit of a chat, but I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Working out, I did the bike, which I haven't done in so long, which is nice. And I also listened to about 30 minutes of Splendid. Between those two things, I'm liking this book. Again, we are sort of at the happily ever after part, which I'm okay with. I normally like to see characters in a happily ever after situation, but it was like a little bit of tension and drama, and there seems to be some drama with like one of my favorite characters, which I'm really excited for. So my goal is to get up to page 250 in We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi. I am really liking this book, like quite a bit. It is dealing with so many topics, and really is, one thing I do like is like, it would have been very easy for Tracy Chi to write this whole book set in like one situation, like one experience told from like 14 point of views. But it's just a very interesting story structure, and I'm really liking that, because I feel like you're getting like a full narrative of this whole experience through these 14 characters. Um, you know, and you do see them again in some capacity. So I am liking that quite a bit. So I'm going to read up to page 250. I also YouTube Q update. I keep adding to it, but I have about 105 videos left, which is good. My goal is to catch up or have like nothing left by this weekend so I can watch some TV this week, which would be exciting. Yes, so I will give you guys an update when I read to 250. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 262 and We Are Not Free. This book is just so good. Like, I feel so invested in all of these characters because, again, you see them in so many different environments and so many different settings, starting the story when they were still in their actual town in California, and then moving to all these internment camps, and then seeing the various choices that the characters make throughout the read. Like, some decided to sign the loyalty pledge, some did not, some decided to go into the army, some decided to get resettled. And it's just very interesting. Their reactions to it is very, very different. Their like desire for things is very, very different. We are, let me see, where are we? We're in like 1944 right now. It's just very, very captivating. Like, I really don't want to put it down. We're about to read another Twitchy chapter. And he is going on an adventure, literally. But yeah, I will update you guys when I get up to page like 300. That will probably be my next stopping point, and we'll also see what time it is. Time check, it's also 4:26. YouTube Cube update. I have about 105 videos left. I'm getting shorter, and I'm going to not add any more at this point so I can like just get these done and then not have to worry about it. But I will talk to you guys when I get up to page 300, and we will touch base. Bye, friends. I just want to say that I did wind up actually finishing We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi. I think this book was just amazing. It was exactly what I needed. I found this to be a very impactful story. It definitely really went through the whole experience of this. I think the ending was very eye-opening to me. And again, you're not taught this in high school. You're not in America. You're not taught this, the after effects and everything like that. So I thought this was very eye-opening. Also, I did quote tab some of the stuff, and I'm gonna put those in my bullet journal later. But oh my goodness, it was just a very like impactful read. Even though there was 14 voices, I felt like you grew to care about them all, and you saw them through various parts of this book. There was also a family at the heart of it. The main character, what's his name, Minnow, his family. You got to see all of the brothers in this story, and I like that it really did focus on the kids. And there was a found family element, which is definitely my favorite like trope in like YA fantasy, but I love the found family element. It also did deal with a lot of harder topics, and racism and, you know, fearful nature was very transparent in this book, but there was subtle moments where you did see people that were better. You did see people that were making a conscious effort to be better, and I think that it is too infrequent in this book, like definitely, but you know, there is always there is some characters that are extremely positive and some characters that are not. But this book will definitely keep me thinking. Like, I really was impacted by it. Now I don't really know what I want to read next. I was originally going to read Skyward, and I don't know. I don't know what I want to read next. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of take all my reading challenges, put them in a bin, and just sort of pick one and pick a book that goes for one of my reading challenges, because I really don't know what I want to read. But very, very good. So I'm going to go figure that out, and then we'll check in. Bye, friends. I think what I'm going to pick up is one book for Margaret the Word Nerd's her reading challenge, and that is A Forgery of Roses. I know it has to do with a character that can like draw pictures with like attributes that those people then get. I think that's what it is. Let me just do a bit of research, but I'm 90% sure that's what it is. That sounds really, really cool, and it's an e-arc, which means I have to read 2 e-arc every month to kind of keep up my NetScally score. But yeah, that one sounds really interesting. It is about over 300 pages. I think it comes out in March, so I'm reading it a little bit early. But she's an artist whose portraits can alter real life bodies, and she must hide those who kidnap or take her to control it. The only way to keep her younger sister safe now that her parents are gone. But when the governor's wife realized she has this power, she kind of invites her to court, and that is what happens. So I'm really excited to dive into this one. It comes out a little bit early, but I've been trying to get better at reading my e-arcs, and then I think I may go back to my 5-star read predictions, but I read like 5-star read predictions in a row. I read The Gathering of Shadows, which I really liked. I gave 5 stars. I read Sea Witch Rising, which I gave 2 stars to. I read The Rules for Disappearing, which I gave 3 stars to. I read We Are Not Free, which I gave 5 stars to. So I had a pretty, I'm going to take a little bit of break from that because I want to eventually film another one, but I need to take a break, and I haven't really read anything from my TBR. So I'm going to pick up A Forgery of Roses, read a couple of chapters, and then give you guys a check-in. Because I'm reading it on my Kindle. It says I have about 3 hours left in the book, but I doubt that that's accurate, and it doesn't tell me page numbers. So I will check in when I read a little bit of it. Bye, friends. I read about 5 chapters in A Forgery of Roses. I'm loving this book so far. Sort of like when I picked up A League of Liars, at the start of this year, I flew through that. And I think it's because I'm reading it on my Kindle. I tend to read a lot faster when I'm on my Kindle. I just don't read on my Kindle enough, and I'm trying to get better at it. But really liking it so far. So you follow this girl named Myra, I think that's her name, and there is something in the society, it's called the artist, and the artist is someone that paints. And sometimes when you're an artist, you can be a prodigy, and when you're a prodigy, when you paint, you can change a person's appearance. You could, if a person's injured, you can change it. But that's illegal. If they catch you doing that, you'll be punished and you'll be put in jail, or you'll be killed, or you'll be taken away. And that is what happened to Myra's mother and her father. Her father was not a prodigy, but her mother was. And she's left working in a shop that her mother owns, taking care of her sister who's sick. But there's a lot of political intrigue. There's an election on the line. And when the wife of the mayor comes to town, comes into her shop, she paints a painting, and then she sort of realizes what Myra can do, and that Myra really is a prodigy. And I'm really liking it. Magic system seems really, really cool. This author has a lot of books that I've just never picked up, not because they didn't seem interesting, just because I didn't get around to them. But I have to admit, I'm really liking this story quite a bit. It's about artists and art and being creative. And she had a really interesting conversation about just wanting to paint for painting's sake, and to not feel pressured, and to not have her magic interrupted, because when she does her magic, it's technically illegal, and she feels really, really guilty. But I'm really, really liking it. So I'm going to try to read 5 more chapters tonight. Also, YouTube Cube update. I always say this. It's I have so many people that I watch. I have about 95 videos left. I'm going to try to stay up a little bit later and just read and relax. I feel like I haven't been reading. I mean, I have been reading, but I feel like I haven't been reading enough this week because it's just been a little bit of a chaotic week. But I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about 5 more chapters. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I did wind up reading to chapter 8 in A Forgery of Roses. I'm really liking it. Solid book. I love the world building. I like how she has a really intense relationship with her sister. She's taking care of her sister. I like that it also does dive into I read a book in late 2021, which was all about climate change. So you do talk a lot about the environment, and I love the relationship with her sister. I think the magic she has is really, really cool. But I am gonna stop reading for the night. I might watch 1 or 2 more YouTube videos just to sort of make sure my queue goes down. And then I think I'm just going to pick a science fiction fantasy show that I haven't watched yet. There's a lot of options, honestly. But I think I'm just going to pick something that I haven't seen. So I'm going to finish watching 2 YouTube videos, and then I am going to just relax and watch something fun. Tomorrow will be another big reading day. I'm going to go to yoga virtually. I have to do some Instagram filming in the morning. My group as well, but I would love to make some significant progress on this tomorrow. That's going to be a big goal. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow morning, and hopefully I'm going to be able to finish my Julia Quinn book, Splendid, which I am liking. I'm definitely enjoying it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. Here I am back. It's almost 9 o'clock. I just got up. I finished my audiobook of Splendid, when I was working out and doing a couple of little errands. Really liked that book. It was American Heiress in England, and it was fun. It was definitely an older historical. I got that from the Historical Hellions Club that Peace Love Books hosts, and I just picked that up like when I got home. It's very, very fun. I really, really liked it. My next audiobook is going to be the library book, which will be my nonfiction read of the month. I've heard very good things about it. It's about the fire at the library in Los Angeles, which was the biggest fire in the United States of America that had to do with books, which makes me a little bit upset, but I'm curious to see how she did the research for that. I'm still reading Forgery of Roses. I am really liking it, though, quite a bit. I really would just love to do nothing else but read that today. I have about 80 videos left in my YouTube queue, and it's just so much videos to watch, but that's okay. I really hope to make some significant progress so I can, my goal to start to do this year is to be caught up. So I don't have like 60 videos to watch. I have like 20 to watch a week because it's a lot. And I know with Bookmas there was like so many creators putting out content, and I love to support creators. Like like my favorites, my Peruse Project, my Peace Love Books, my Bookish Realm, all those people I really, really love to support. But it just took me a while because I had so much stuff going on at the tail end of the year, and then I went to Disney, so I really have a lot of content that I haven't watched. But I do really want to watch some TV shows, and I am watching Schitt's Creek, which is with the show that I'm currently watching, but I want to pick up like a paranormal fantasy show, and I just haven't picked anything up. So, but yeah, I'm going to go read A Forgery of Roses until 10 o'clock when I go to yoga. I'm still quarantining because my mom does have COVID. I'm fine currently, but we'll see. Story of my life, I don't know. At this point, who knows? But I'm going to go read for a little bit, then I'm going to go to yoga, and then I'll check back in with you guys and see how much chapters I've read. I have about 9 hours left in this. The one thing I love about, hate about ARX, it doesn't give you page numbers. You can just like sort of guesstimate. It's very, very hard to update Goodreads, but I'm going to go read, and I'll update you guys when I read about 5 chapters or when I come back from yoga. We'll see which one happens first. Bye, friends. Did wind up going to yoga. I'm about to pick up A Forgery of Roses, or A Forgery of Roses again. I really am liking that book quite a bit. Like, I just think it's very interesting. I love fantasy stories that have like a mystery element to it. I love any story that has a mystery element to it. Something that I can solve as a reader. That is something I love. So like if there's a mystery in a contemporary, I will love it. Obviously, I love thrillers. But I love fantasy stories that have a mystery component or something that they're trying to solve. So Myra is being sent to sort of resurrect, in a sense, the mayor's son who died in a mysterious way. And her power is she can like paint, when she paints something, she can like change the appearance of the actual thing, which is a really, really cool magic system. I like that quite a bit. But she's, her power works in like a very specific way. So it's very interesting. I really, really like that. And then she also has a relationship with her sister, who I would say almost has like a chronic illness, which I think is really good representation. I mean, again, I don't have a chronic illness, but I like seeing that rep in the story. Or maybe it will become something else as the series goes on, because she's very interested in like the environment and stuff like that, and like figuring out what's making the environment sick and how to make the environment better. That's a really interesting side plot. I would have loved to get her point of view, her sister's point of view, because I think she's just a cool character. But I do like Myra, so I'm gonna go back to reading. It is about 11 o'clock. YouTube queue update. I am determined to make it through all 80 videos today, so that is my goal. I will see if that's possible. But when I read about 5 more chapters, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Here I am back. I just wanted to say that I did wind up getting up to 41% done in Forgery of Roses chapter 20. I'm about to start. I really am liking this book quite a bit. It's definitely leaning into like the murder mystery element, which is something that I thoroughly love, because I love character solving mystery. There's also a really fun relationship with her and Will's brother, who is still currently alive, and I like that relationship a lot. It also is set in like a really, really fun house. There was also the connection to her own family. Her parents are still missing. She's really in charge of taking care of her sister. It's a very, very short timetable for a book as well. It's only taking place over like 4 or 5 days, which I tend to like. I actually need it for one of the prompts for the Disney Reading Challenge, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I'm gonna go read like 3 more chapters. It is about 1:30. I'm starting to get a small cough. I don't know. I just, oh my goodness, this freaking COVID. Everything you get, you feel like it's COVID, and then you take a test and it's not positive. So I don't know. But I'm gonna go read at least 3 to 5 more chapters, and then I'll give you guys another update. I think this is like a hard book to predict because like it really is a very, very insular story. Like there's really like there was a couple of main characters at the start, but then it's a really insular story. So it's like 2 or 3 characters because it's set in like a mansion, and there's not a lot of like other characters that Myra's really, really connecting to other than the brother. So I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. Really, really fun. Very, very hard to put down. So I'm going to go make some more reading progress, and I'm watching some YouTube videos, which has been a goal for like the past 5 weeks. So I'm really happy I'm actually catching up on it. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Back in. It is about 2:30. I did wind up getting up to 50% done in chapter 24, or about to start chapter 24 in A Forgery of Roses. I'm really loving this book. Like, it has some of my favorite elements and tropes in this story. Like, it also has really good, like, I wouldn't say unique, but I would just say not common representation. I'll say that. Like, it has the potentiality of chronic illness. I will sort of mention that at the very, very end because I feel like there's more to do with the chronic illness than, like, is being talked about. But there's definitely anxiety and like anxiety rep in this, and I think that you don't really ever see that in like a fantasy book. Like, you see it sometimes in contemporary, and that's becoming a little bit more common, but like seeing that type of representation in a fantasy book never gets much leeway. Like, it just doesn't. So I really do like that. I saw that also in I guess I started a little bit more recently, like in 2021, the books I was picking up. I saw it in Long May She Reign. I saw it in The Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levisera. But I like it because I think that it's a very important character trait, especially for those people that do deal with severe anxiety. Seeing their personality reflected in different settings like science fiction and fantasy and mystery and horror. I think that that's like really important, and I really do like that. So I think that that's great. I've read so many like fantasy books that sometimes like I jump the plot twist, and I'm like, oh my god, I hope this doesn't go the way that I fear it might, and I blame that entirely on Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. That plot twist at the end of that book threw me so off guard. I was like, oh my goodness. And every single time I read a book about a brother, I'm always deeply worried. So we'll see. But I'm really liking it. I'm probably gonna finish this book today. Like, I really am having a hard time putting it down. This might also be a 5-star read. Because I'm really liking it, unless it like does something horrible at the end. I think it's probably gonna be a 5-star read. We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi was also a 5-star read, but that was a very different type of 5-star read. It was very engaging, very, very interesting. I learned a lot about the internment camps, but this is just has so many elements, very, very fast-paced, very a murder mystery at the heart of it that I'm really, really liking it. So I'm going to go read probably like 3 more chapters, and maybe when I get up to 60%, I'll give you guys another update. Bye, friends. Just wanted to say that I did wind up getting up to 70% done. I'm about 2 hours left, maybe 3. I really hope to finish this book tonight. I really don't want to put it down. One of my fearful plot points is maybe about to happen, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. There is definitely some unexpected twists towards the end that I definitely was not expecting at the start of the story. I will say that. I really am liking it. Like, fast-paced adventure. I love the magic. I love the main character. I love the devotion to her sister. There is an unexpected love triangle that sort of developed, which I did not see coming. And again, I always fall for the wrong person. It always happens, so that's okay. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how the story ends. I'm very curious. I'll probably give you guys like another update when I get up to 80 and just see, but I'm liking it so far. It's enjoyable. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading and try to read a couple more chapters before I get some dinner. And yeah, we'll touch base. I'm also watching my yearly wrap-up videos that everyone else makes. I just finished making all mine, so I feel like I can like watch other people's content and not like get too inspired. So that's good, because like I don't like to steal people's ideas unless I'm working with them. But really liking all the videos I'm watching, and I'm gonna go read a couple more chapters, and then we'll have a check-in. Bye, friends. Checking back in. It's almost 6 o'clock. I did wind up getting up to chapter 36 in A Forgery of Roses. I am loving this book, like devouring it. I now I'm like now I just don't know what's gonna happen. Like my first prediction I thought was wrong might now be right, and now my other prediction that I thought was gonna be right might be wrong. So I really don't know, but it is just the writing style in this book is just stunning. I think the way that Jessica Olsen like sort of like crafts the anxiety rep is really good. I like that there's a lot of really important quotes in this story. I would definitely like a physical copy to like tab and put some in my bullet journal because I really do like them. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. Now we're like probably at the climax. I have like 2 hours left in this book. My goal is to finish it before I head to bed for the night. But yeah, I'm liking it. I still don't know where the story's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna go. The romance plot is like now more connected with the murder plot, and I'm just curious like how it's gonna go. I have one way I would like it to go, but again, I'm always proven wrong in all of my predictions. So I'm gonna go back to reading, try to make some progress on my YouTube queue, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. By this book, like, oh, I love this book so much. It's definitely right now gonna be a 5-star read for me. It had so many unexpected twists and turns, so many red herring plot points, so much political drama, really unique magic system that is at the basics of arts, really good, not good, but solid like anxiety rep, which I think is done so well. So many quotes that just are so impactful and important. I love the world. It also reminds me it has like a Regency twist to it, which I have been really loving my historicals lately. So any fantasy book I can tackle that's also like Regency romance or has Regency romance elements. I really like the main character, the male lead in this story. Like there was a little bit of a love triangle drama in the story as well, but again, I'm loving it. Like it's a really fun, really, really fast-paced story. Like I think I have finished this in like 2 days. Like I'm gonna tackle this. I did not want to put this down last night, and I knew that if I did, I would probably just stay up all night reading it because I wanted to know what happens. But I am so pleased. So I'm gonna go finish the last 10%, and then I will check it in, and then I'm probably gonna wrap up this reading vlog. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I just finished A Forgery of Roses. I really like that book. Like definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. I just found it to be so compelling and so fast-paced, and it was like a fantasy story wrapped with a murder mystery with just a really cool character elements. Some very like I really enjoyed the representation of the anxiety rep and also the chronic illness rep that was sort of throughout the read. That might be a little bit of a spoiler, but I just thought it was great. I just love the main characters. The anxiety rep probably had some of like my favorite quotes. I'm gonna wait and just to see if like I get it in a book box, but I'm definitely like in the mood to buy a physical copy of this one and keep it in my collection because I was really impressed. So in this reading vlog, I finished 3 books. I finished We Are Not Free by Tracy Chi, which is over there. That was a 5-star read prediction for me, and I really loved it. It was a very impactful read, I will say that. Like, I was very much, like, impacted by that book. It was very, very powerful. It followed 14 voices as they were in an internment camp in the 1940s. Very, very impactful. I really, really loved it. I also finished reading Splendid by Julia Quinn, which was a really fun read. Like, it was fun. It was about an American heiress that went to England and a romance developed. And then I finished A Forgery of Roses in less than 24 hours because I just could not put that book down. And I think the reason I was so adamant to finish those 2 books is I had a real, like, I did not, like, love my previous couple of reads. I really loved League of Liars, and then Sea Witch and When I Disappeared were not my strongest reads. So I just think for me, I was like, oh, I want to end my week on a more higher note. Feeling check. I am still feeling like a little bit off, but again, my mom did come down with COVID this week, and I feel fine. I mean, I just feel like I have a cold, and at the point, all the symptoms sound like COVID to me, so we'll see. But I'm gonna go start my next reading vlog and kind of prep for that, prep for this week. I'm supposed to go to work tomorrow, so I'm just kind of prepared for all of that. And yeah, I will check in with you guys for my next reading vlog. Bye, friends.